If God is real and true, why isn't he doing anything? What about the victims in the Epstein list? Why did all of that evil have to happen? Why is he silent? Where is he? I have heard that question asked a million times in the last 24 hours. I have an answer and you want to hear it. Revelation 22 verse 11. Jesus says to John, let the evildoer still do evil, and the filthy still be filthy, and the righteous still do righteous, and the holy still be holy. Behold, I am coming soon, bringing my recompense with me to repay each one for what he has done. That is just the surface. Revelation 18. In the Bible, Babylon represents the most vile wickedness in all of the earth, since the beginning of time to the future. The worst things that have ever happened. That is Babylon. Everybody who's participated. Listen to what God says he's going to do to Babylon. Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She's become a dwelling place for demons, a haunt for every unclean spirit. For all nations have drunk the wine of the passion of her sexual immorality. The kings of the earth have committed immorality with her, and the merchants of the earth have grown rich from the power of her luxurious living. Does that sound familiar? For her sins are heaped high as heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities. Pay her back as she herself has paid back others, and repay her double for her deeds. Mix a double portion for her in the cup that she mixed, as she glorified herself and lived in luxury, so give her a like measure of torment and mourning. And the kings of the earth who committed sexual immorality and lived in luxury with her will weep and wail over her when they see the smoke of her burning. They will stand afar off in fear of her torment and say, alas, alas, your great city, your mighty Babylon, for in a single hour your judgment has come. It says how God's going to destroy Babylon. Then it says, the light of the lamp will shine in you no more, and the voice of the bridegroom and bride will be heard in you no more. For your merchants were the great ones of the earth, and all nations were deceived by your sorcery. In her was found the blood of prophets and of saints, and all who have been slain on the earth. Is that not exactly what we've been reading about? Every politician, every person in power, the great ones of the earth, all nations deceived. That is what's right in front of your face. Ephesians 6 says, for we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers of this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. You can't vote your way out of this. There's not a single politician that will save you. You need a hope that is bigger than man. You need a hope that is God. The darkest history has revealed the need for a righteous king that was fulfilled in Jesus Christ when he came the first time. It will be totally fulfilled when he comes a second time to do everything that I just described to you. And you say, why should we believe some far out promise that God has made? Why isn't he doing anything right now? He already did. The Old Testament God that you say is mean, that you say is a bully, that is God taking care of evil and enacting judgment. You know why he wiped out all those nations in the Old Testament? It's because they were doing the same things that you just read described in the Epstein files that you are now calling on God to do something about. All of those nations, including the Canaanites, they offered children, their own babies. They tortured them, offered them as satanic sacrifices to the false god Moloch and to Baal, which is coincidentally the bank account name for Jeffrey Epstein. Satan has not taken a breath in 1,000 years, and he's not going to. They were murderers. They were rapists. In certain nations, people would come to a new city. The city